Hello again. Now, we've seen Eskom battle to keep the country's lights on as failing and aging infrastructure continue to be a major headache. Now, imagine only paying for what you use and when. Well, that could be a possibility in the near future should NERSA approve Eskom's recently proposed revised tariff structure. Energy charges will be split into peak, standard or off-peak periods, which in turn means customers could possibly pay more or less depending on how they use electricity. Engineering executive at CBI-electric, low voltage, Dr. Andrew Dickson joins me now to discuss this along with methods and technological advances that can be used to curb overall consumption and cost. Mr. Dickson, good afternoon and welcome to today. Thank you very much for your time this hour here on eNCA. Just as we begin chatting, to advise you that we are expecting President Matamela Ramaphosa any time now to be arriving at the White House. We might have to stop our interview and show our viewers the live visuals coming from the White House of our president arriving there. So this new tariff structure, the revised tariff structure, if it's approved by NERSA, you say consumers could use it to their benefit.
Afternoon, Dan. Thanks for having me on. Certainly, they could see an advantage as to when and where they use electricity. So they're going to have to be very careful not to overextend themselves during peak periods and control themselves during non-peak period time.
So what are the kind of activities would indicate an overextension? Just be practical for a short while. What should a normal household do or not do during peak?
Well, we tend to use electricity as we feel, and that's been a privilege we've had in South Africa for many years because of the cost of electricity. But when you start to look at particularly peak tariffs, you want to avoid your heavy loads. So things like your geysers, you don't want those running, your pool pumps, anything that is going to draw a lot of energy through the system, certainly during the peak tariffs you don't want to be using. However, you're never going to get away from cooking dinner at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, which of course is going to be a peak time. So how do you lessen the load during that time so you're only spending energy on, say, your cooking? So that's where it becomes very important that you're able to shift those heavy loads to other times, non-peak periods.
Okay, so peak is what? Is early morning? Is it between 6 and 8? What is peak?
So the classification so far and where they're planning to go with this is your early morning, say between 6 and 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and your evening times between typically 6 and 9, 6 and 10. And they're still deciding exactly where that tariff is going to sit. But of course, that is when households are busiest. And so now you want to say, well, do I need to get
Mr. Dickson, just hold on.